Yeah, comedy seems to be running through the family. All right, and are you guys ready to keep things? Perfect. We have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a bunch more performers, and counting was never my strong suit, but introducing people is. So here we go. Let's have a huge round of applause. Please give it up for Lisa Shatsky.
It's a test.
Okay. So I have 3 poems to share. One is kind of light, the first one. The middle one is sort of serious. And the last one is kind of like a rhyming Dr. Seuss sort of thing, written specifically for Paul. You know, my hope is that one day not too far in the future, Paul and Jude look back on this event, on this circumstance, situations, and are able to make something of it. I'm sure they're making something of it now with all this love in the room, but I often get asked, where do the poems come from? And I think the poems come from the same place that where all art comes from. So hopefully this experience will go to that same place too. Where do the poems come from? From cracks, schisms, rocks that chafe your hands and make them bleed. That black hole that you keep falling into again and again, you know, the one that you said you didn't see, but you actually did see it, but you keep falling in because you think something alive is still inside. And it smells like earth rot and gut shit, and you know, you're convinced something from a falling star fell and you must retrieve it, but more often than not you come back up with a fistful of dead bones. The poems come from light under the door, from the sound the trees make, comes from elongated moments we wrap ourselves in to deny the outstretched arms of night, comes from new rain, new snow, conversations unfinished, arguments you have with yourself that you never win, pain so unbearable you forget to breathe, love so unbearable you forget to breathe, new snow, engorged lips grasping at the nipple. Poems come from the cat's coughed up fur balls, from the cow's eyes on the way to the slaughterhouse, groceries you forgot in the rain, phone calls from the debt collector that you just don't return, moonrise after summer thunder dancing on the bedroom floor. Poems come from that place early in the morning when you first wake up and you don't know what day it is and you forget the time, and there's only light, and anything is possible, all things are possible. Everything is possible until you wake up and spill hot coffee on your white shirt as you jump back into the fray. So, you know, this whole situation, BC ferries and all that, don't even ask me my opinion on police these days. I don't have a very therapeutic answer. But this whole situation, it's a fine line between what erodes at our humanity and freedom. On some level, some might say, who haven't experienced it, well, you know, it's just a ferry and all that. But it's a very fine line between the freedoms we've taken for granted and what we hear about on the news of other countries. This poem is about that place. It's called Crushing of the Fledglings. In Burma, monks are on fire, falling from the sky. Orange doves, wings split, eyes missing, raining red, peace in pieces, skulls and feathers still warm on the ground. Unseen, scarlet-stained walls and floors in a monastery in Yangon, thousands screaming outside for the slaughter inside. What name do you give the crushing of fledglings, the faint pulse of peace heard and unhatched under a thin shell and skull, unhatched and smashed against brick walls, then stomped into an indiscernible melody of broken songs, lost hopes, a tiny beak here, a little foot there, Be careful before taking pictures, somebody on the nightly news tells us. If caught, it'll cost you 7 years in prison. 7 years with torture, he adds, candidly, as if the option without exists. Blood dust settles on streets that have no names, can no longer have no names, only littered with orange robes. They recycle the robes as potato bags, however. Come morning, they toss them into trucks. They believe in not wasting anything. So now this last one, so I have the paper in my pocket in case I forget it, because I only got finished writing about 2 hours ago, like I do everything, at the last minute. And I was thinking of Dr. Seuss somehow, because I don't usually write in rhyme, but somehow this whole situation felt like it merited a Dr. Seuss sort of take. So it's called Ode to Dr. Seuss, or dedicated to Paul Houston. He was just a clown running for the boat. A clown like the rest of us, trying to keep afloat. Sailing BC ferries, with his jokes and a smile. A shoulder for sick children, to lean on for a while. What kind of world does battle with the clowns? What kind of world pins them to the ground? What's a clown to do when faced with what's not fair? How would you respond when they act like you're not there? Would you nod your head, agree not to pass, agree to miss your vote again while they kick you in the ass? Ode to all the stories of trying to get back home. Ode to all the stories of trying to get back home. A ferry left too early. One did not come. Something's broken down. Aren't we having fun? Only one berth open. 3 ferries come at once. Someone's on a break, and others having lunch. They blame it on the logs floating in the sound. They also blame it on the fish, whatever can be found. Someone overslept. The reasons only grow. Why the boat ain't coming, no one seems to know. Is everyone on weed? The rest of Canada wants to know. Don't ask stupid questions. It's just the BC Ferry show. Wait, your security's our top concern, is the party line. Then, why harass the passengers doing the daily grind? Ferry prices soaring, ferry service down. Behind the face of competence is another kind of clown. This one's far more dangerous, lurking in the dark, prone to random senseless policies, conversations that are stark. The day they stopped our clown from making it back home is the day that we too lost something that was known. Freedom isn't silent. Freedom takes a stand. Freedom looks for answers. Freedom lends a hand. A gentleman among us, a giant with sad eyes. The day we let them take him down, something in us dies. He will not go quietly to rules that are absurd, and when he speaks for us. Our voices will be heard. He was just a clown, running for the boat, a clown like all the rest of us, trying to stay afloat.